Welcome to my channel, YouTube, The Coach. Let's change the learning approach. So if you can recall, the previous session was about introduction of data science and the forms of data. Now, in this session, we are going to talk about types of data. So at its core, data is just a piece of information. However, data comes in many shapes and sizes. So sometimes data arrives like a package, neatly bundled, labeled, very clean. The other side of it, it's entangled, improper, not labeled, dirty. So let's try to understand the broad classification or types of data. 1. By measurement of scale. 2. By origin. 3. By source. 4. By time. So let's try to understand all of them one by one. So measurement by scale. It is again broadly classified into two types: qualitative data, quantitative data. Quantitative data. Data you can measure or count, like height, weight, temperature, or salary. Qualitative data is the data that describes the categories or qualities. For example, customer feedback for a product quality. Quantitative data is further classified into two types: discrete data and continuous data. Discrete data is countable values, example, number of students in a class. Continuous data is measurable values that can take any number within a range, example, temperature throughout the day. Let's try and understand qualitative data. It's further classified into two types: nominal data, ordinal data. Nominal data are categories with no order, like hair color, black, brown, or blonde. Ordinal data, as it suggests, there is some order. So categories with a logical order, like we get ratings: poor, average, good, excellent. Let's try to understand the second type of data, data by origin. There are three types of data by origin: structured, semi-structured, unstructured. This is very, very important for data science. Let's try and understand structured data a little better. It's the type of data which is organized data, which is in a tabular format, which should have rows and columns, right? So let's say example, databases or a spreadsheet where you collect data in a tabular format is the simplest example of structured data. Let's try and understand the big ocean of data. The 95% of the data that's produced in the world is unstructured. Those which are not organized, which are just paragraphs. The data where the information does not follow a set format or structure. It can include text, images, video, audio, and many other combinations. Now let's talk about semi-structured data. As the name suggests itself, it is midway to the structured and unstructured. So you mean that there will be few fields which have tabular format and there will be free text or paragraph information. For example, if you go to the hospital, your name, your gender, your age, all of those are tabular, but then your diagnosis is paragraph. So that's a semi-structured. Let's try to understand the third type of data, data by source. So there are two types of data by source. One is primary data, the second is secondary data. So primary data is the data that's collected for the first time through personal experience or you have a solid evidence, particularly during the research, like data collected during case studies, surveys, where you talk to the subject matter experts directly. You can see some information on the screen directly. Secondary data refers to the information that has been gathered by someone else and readily available for researchers to use for their own purposes. Thereby mean that the original research was done by someone else. Now you are doing a continuous or subsequent study. For example, a pharmaceutical company. They want to understand
how common diabetes is in different age groups, young, old populations. Instead of doing a new study and collect data, they can directly go to the websites of World Health Organization and National Health Database registries that have already collected those information and do their further research.
Now, fourth and the final type of data, data by time. So there are essentially two types of data by time series data, cross-sectional data.
Now let's try to understand cross-sectional data. Data gathered from multiple subjects or people at a specific point of time. It's very widely used in pharmaceutical research. For example, a pharmaceutical company conducts a survey of patients, roughly around 500, coming to different hospitals in Mumbai on a single day, let's say time of or date of admission, asking about their current medication, comorbid condition, age, symptoms, etc., and then correlate with the time of discharge or time of death. So basically, you are trying to understand a patient journey from one time point to another time point T1 to time point T2 or TX. The other data is time series data and very useful in terms of forecasting and projections. That data tracked from the same person over regular time intervals. For example, daily stock prices or revenue forecast, monthly done, quarterly done, or yearly done, or cost savings across multiple quarters.
Hope you like this session. Do share. Hope you like